I've proved loads of my consultants wrong. The fact I was told I'd never walk or talk, and obviously I'm sat here, I'm talking, I can walk. I drive people crazy.
To be told that they want to remove half your child's brain, I couldn't get my head round that they could do that. I couldn't understand how they could remove half a brain and that she would have a life.
Caity Downs was born with a rare condition called Sturge-Weber syndrome. At just 18 months old, she was suffering from such severe epileptic fits due to her condition that the decision was taken to perform a hemispherectomy, drastic surgery which meant removing half her brain.
Yeah, so it starts off saying, "My name's Caitlin, but I like to be called Caity, and this is the story about my life." Caity was having, on average, just over 100 seizures a day. It was the 10th of September, it was the day before 9/11. We were given the result that afternoon and told there and then that she would be an ideal candidate for surgery. I didn't want her to have it done. I didn't think I'd have my Caity back.
I've had a few things where people have been like, oh, well, because your right side doesn't work, that clearly means you're stupid or you're dumb. Just getting to the place where I am now, like at college, and getting through my GCSEs and sort of just proving I can do things with one side that works. It's not all about having a disability. It's not all about not being able to do things. I just approach them as I can do this and I will do it.
This was the book we made when you was a little girl to help you understand all about your condition and your life and what was wrong with you. So it starts off saying, "My name's Caitlin, but I like to be called Caity, and this is the story about my life." And look, you've got your chubby cheeks and your red school uniform on. It just tells how you were born with your twin brother, and you've got a big brother and sister, and you've also got another sister called Leah. It says that when you were born, I noticed a birthmark. I noticed a birthmark on your face, and the doctors told me it was called a port wine stone. Seizures is a really big word for a 5-year-old, so we put
Fits.
you started to have some fits, and your whole body would shake, and no matter what you did, you couldn't stop it. You was only little. You was only 1.5, but the operation worked. But it also stopped your right arm, leg, and both your eyes working properly, and that you had to wear a splint on your arm and a caliper on your leg to help you move. And that was the end of your little book, wasn't it?
We used to do about.
You need to update it. We've probably got about 12 years to update on it though, Kate. It might take a little while.
I don't know what life would be like without it. It's like, I don't know. It's like when people ask me what it's like to have one hand that works, it's like me asking what's it like to have two hands, because I don't remember ever having two hands that work. It does affect me in some ways, that like the way I see things and do things, and people are like, oh my god, you got this condition, oh my god, and then they're like, oh, well, you can't come near me because we'll get it, and I'm like, no, it's not contagious, it's fine. You can hang around with me, I'm not scary.
Not long after she was born, we noticed that she had a port wine stain on her face that started on her nose and extended right to the very back of her head. We were told, because of the port wine stain, there was a very, very small chance she could have this condition called Sturge-Weber, and that they would arrange an MRI scan. Unfortunately, before we could have the MRI scan, she started having seizures, so that was when she was about 3 months old. You don't know how long 5 minutes is until you watch someone you love having a seizure. Caity was having, on average, just over 100 seizures a day. I was giving her emergency rescue medication 3 or 4 times a day. So she didn't really have any quality of life. None of us did. Alex, Megan and Kenny didn't have a quality of life. We got a firm diagnosis when she was 9 months old. We were given the result that afternoon and told there and then that she would be an ideal candidate for surgery. I walked out the room. I couldn't... To be told that they want to remove half your child's brain, you can't... I couldn't get my head round that they could do that. I couldn't understand how they could remove half a brain and that she would have a life. Obviously we could have lost her. I remember going down with her and it was horrible because part of me didn't think I'd ever see her alive again. Having to say goodbye to your child, not knowing if you'll ever see them alive again was horrible. It was awful. And it was the longest 8.5 hours of my life. I didn't want her to have it done. I didn't think I'd have my Caity back. Not that she would die. I thought that if they took half her brain away, she just wouldn't be the same little girl she was. But I was wrong. Best decision, best thing I'd done is she wouldn't be here today. She wouldn't have survived the seizures. She had a couple of seizures within the first 48 hours and she's never had a seizure since. So she's been seizure free, she's 17. Been seizure free for 15.5 years.
Obviously because of my disabilities there's certain things I can't do by myself. So I sort of just hide away. Socialising with like making friends and making plans. In fact, I've not had any of my friends from college come around here.
Mentally, she's probably not 17. She struggles with relationships with her peers, with her siblings. She can't process information the way other 17-year-olds process information.
I've had a few people say to me that, oh, that red mark on your face, that must mean your mum's beating you up, she's clearly not a good parent. Or people assume that I've been on holiday and just that part of my face has been burnt. I think I've only ever stood up to a bully once and that led them to try and throw stones at me and they then turned around and said I didn't deserve to live because of it. That broke my heart.
Despite Caity's difficulties with relationships, she shares a close bond with her mum Paula and sister Megan.
Do you annoy each other sometimes?
Yes.
Oh my god, definitely.
All the time.
Like, obviously Caitlin has one arm and one leg to use, so if she's like holding a drink in one hand, I like to throw stuff, because then she can't like block it without spilling the drink, and then she doesn't want to spill the drink, so it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm used to that.
Do you look up to Megan though, Caity?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lot taller than you.
Shut up.
I'm a little shorty.
Shut up. Yeah, I do.
We have an extremely close bond. It can be very strained, but it's very loving as well. I'm always the one that was with her for all her appointments, takes her everywhere, does everything with her. She was challenging, she was hard work, but she's very loving, had a lot to give back, and I learned a lot from her.
Nearly 16 years after her surgery, there is one person who Caity is still desperate to meet.
I want to try and find the surgeon that did my surgery and thank him in person, because he had the most difficult of surgeries to do on anyone. The fact that he had to tell Mum there was a chance I wouldn't survive. And I do want to find them and say to him, you know, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here.
We managed to track down Mr. Harkness, the surgeon who performed Caity's hemispherectomy. He's agreed to meet her in London, but Caity has no idea we've arranged this.
You know you're going for 2 hospital appointments. Yeah. How would you be okay doing a 3rd? If it meant that you could meet Dr. Harkness again? Yeah?
I'm literally shaking.
You're going to have to think about what you're going to say to him.
Thank you is the big one.
And what you're going to ask him.
I don't know. If he's doing my brain.
It's in a little jar.
He
Jiggled
he's
it
got
for
it in a
you.
little jar in his office.
Okay, we're just setting off to the train station now. It is a big day. I am meeting the man that did my brain surgery. We're currently at the co-op, so Mum can get some money out. But, yeah, today is a big day. And we are meeting the man that did my brain surgery. I'm very excited. I'm nervous as well.
That'd be nice.
Good, how was your journey? So what, 16 years ago? Is that when you last met?
I was trying to work it out. I think you took it after a year after surgery.
Oh, that's sweet, thank you.
That day was something that I can't believe that happened. You was Mary in the school play.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Get a photo. Lovely, thank you. Are you ready?
After the excitement of meeting Mr. Harkness, Caity has something else to be looking forward to.
Sorry, love.
Caity and Paula are going on a weekend away, organised by the Sturge-Weber Foundation.
Long drive. We can break the journey up, that's not a problem. Looking forward to seeing all our friends. Looking forward to a couple of glasses of wine tonight with the other mummies.
The trip happens every 18 months. It's a chance for families affected by Sturge-Weber to relax and meet up. Paula's mum Chris is also joining on the trip. This weekend will be different for Caity, as she is sharing a room with her friend for the first time.
Do you think it'll be different sharing with my friend? Yeah, I think that's what I'm used to, waking up with Mum next to me. It will be really weird tomorrow when I wake up to find Sophie next to me and not my mum.
After a long journey, the family finally arrive.
We're here! Hallelujah! I see it as mainly just catching up with other people that are going through similar things, and it's just nice to know that you don't feel alone, because the family weekends are only every 18 months, so that 18 months in between is you feel alone most of the time. It feels like no one really understands because no one else has ever heard of it.
Come and sit on you, and then you just cuddle.
Lovely.
Sure you don't want to hold it, Mum?
I don't mind holding that one.
Everyone here has their own story to tell. One of these is Linda, who was diagnosed with Sturge-Weber as an adult, unlike most people here.
When I was born, all I was told was just be careful. It's put one birthmark and that's it. Then when I was married and we felt pregnant, we went out one night with some friends, no alcohol, no nothing. We went to order Chinese and I couldn't work out what a phone was. And I got all these yellow blue lights flashing about. Come home, they dropped us off. I can remember walking in the door. The following thing I didn't know until the following morning. I went to get up and I couldn't stand up.
And as I say, that we've got lots of products that we use, and this is only a small selection of them today, but if you've never used camouflage before, it'll just give you a feel for what the product actually feels like.
The best way of describing it is that there's not just one type, there's so many different types. And there's so many people that are different in their own way. And it's like with me and Sophie, we're so sort of, I don't even like saying the word normal, but more abled.
Kate's not lucky to have Sturge-Weber, but Kate's fortunate it's only on one side, it's unilateral. If it's bilateral, it makes a big difference. It can't be treated with surgery. So the only option is drug therapy, which isn't always very successful.
After the morning's activities, the adults with older children take a break relaxing in the sun.
Yeah, we do talk about it a lot. We think there should be an island with a Prosecco lake or a gin waterfall.
Yeah, I was about to say, and maybe a little vodka pool.
Because everyone here's got the same condition, it makes you feel normal. Because no one's looking at the birthmark.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, really good. Really good. Came when Cody was a baby, and then due to her ill health, I didn't come for about 10 years, and then I started coming again 3 years ago.
One of the activities on offer this weekend is a trip to the zoo.
Just seeing all the little kids with smiles on their faces. You don't know what happens behind closed doors, but they're different here. It's just nice to see them all have fun and enjoy themselves. Just looking after them and making them happy is all I want to do. I don't think there's anything else I want to do apart from make younger people happy.
These are your favourites, aren't they, Katie?
Hell yeah! They certainly are. The zoo trip would not be complete without giraffes. That was a good one.
I've definitely taken a step back this weekend. As in family weekends, I've definitely stepped back on this one. I've wanted her to enjoy it for what it is and to take from it. Before, it was about what I needed to take from it because I was the carer and I needed to learn. And this is the first time it's been about her gaining something from it, being independent, going out on her own, dancing, interacting with other people. She's loved it. She's had an absolute ball.
The balloon release marks the end of the family weekend. This year, it carries an even deeper meaning for Katie. She is releasing pink balloons in memory of her friend Maeve, who passed away last year.
The balloon release is always emotional, but the fact that we had that extra special touch of remembering Maeve in this one just made it even more special. It was amazing. I just can't wait to the next one now.
I'd like for her to have what for all my kids, for her to be happy, settled. Of course I'd love to see her settle down, maybe have a family of her own, and I just want her to be happy.
I hope to be healthy and just get on with life, really. You know, have kids maybe one day, not too soon, but just, yeah.